Hey everybody, good morning. My name is Matt Ham. This is Kevin Adams, and we're the co-founders of UPrint, a faith development organization. This is our weekly live show called Wake Up as part of our video newsletter. Thank you guys for being here. Kevin, good morning, bud.
Good morning.
You doing all right, man?
Doing fantastic.
It's a wonderful week. Spring is in the air, and southeastern North Carolina is hopping.
It's great, Azalea Festival.
It is. Actually, this is going to be one of the first Azalea Festivals I've missed in a while. We're going to be out of town this weekend, taking the kids on a little spring break vacation. But the Azalea Festival is a huge festival here in Wilmington. It's great. If you've never visited Wilmington, you should. Mm-hmm. It's a good time to be here.
Duran.
That's it. Duran's it's better than Snoop Dogg, which was last year. It's a little messy. But anyway, well, man, one of the things that we want to talk about is really helping people kind of navigate this faith walk. And, you know, one of the things that's really been prevalent, I had some folks reach out that they're struggling with this idea between humility and self-promotion. You know, we deal with a lot of Christian entrepreneurs, a lot of Christian business folks, and they're trying to navigate that territory between, like, how do I be humble, right? Because we're called to be humble.
Sure.
But I've got to kind of promote what I do. I've got to let the people know about, you know, kind of what's
difficult.
Dilemma. Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about this idea of, like, what humility really is versus what the world kind of makes it to be, and how we can use that in our own faith walk. So one of the favorite things of yours that I've ever read that you wrote, he said, humility is a giant that only seems small to small people.
Right. Yeah. Well, thanks. Yeah. It's that came as a result of going through some pretty bitter things that help prune me.
Yeah.
Humility is the giant, but it only looks small to small people. So really take that in and let that sink in. I think in this balance or whatever of trying to be a humble person versus someone who is promotional of themselves, I think it's on the surface it's a dilemma. But the truth is, God said, if you humble yourselves, He will exalt you. So it's really more about becoming humble or humbling yourself, which is a choice. And I think God will do it for you if you're not willing. We've talked about that.
Yeah.
And I think we've both learned that in life. But anyway, so I think there's a process in place where God, you don't have to build a platform. You have to be humble and build people, and the platform will happen.
That's key. I'm gonna go back to that
Yeah,
thought. And for those listening, the goal is to build people, not platforms. And we live in a culture right now in social media that says, oh, well, if you want to build people, then you have to build platforms.
Exactly.
And so this is it.
Right.
And our shows, guys, and what we're about is this looking at this upside to upside down living. The idea that the gospel presents a way to live, and that we are in a world that teaches us to live the exact opposite.
Right.
And so in a world that's building platforms, we have to remember to build people. And there's a drastic difference there, but the line is subtle. And that's, I think, Kevin, what I want to help people see today is how do you start to understand and navigate that subtle line between, that's the rub, that's the issue.
Yeah.
Because then it's about the platform and not the people.
Well, I think one way, and there's lots of ways to humble yourself, is to begin to consider your response to other people. So we deal with people every day, and humility may be, if you're in the office and someone takes credit for your work, you may bite your tongue and not say anything, go home and cuss the person, right? Now that's false humility.
False humility, right?
So letting go of it altogether is a whole other thing. But I think one way, just to get into this momentarily today, is to consider how you respond in the present to others. And the best way I found is to treat everybody like they're a world champion at something. And really take that in, So no matter how grieving this person may be to me, I need to treat them as if they are a world champion at something, because God created this person So that's one way. You can kind of think that through a moment.
I think the idea is actually valuing people individually.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For their own individual gifts and so forth. And,
right.
and understanding them as an individual instead of a means to an end.
That's right.
I think that's the thing is in this world of business, right? We say it's not personal. It's just business.
Right.
And what that makes us do is not value people.
That's right.
We value the mindset of business. You know what I mean? And the
right.
end, which is, I got to make money or I got to be successful or whatever.
That's
so
right.
people become
It's
a means
logical.
to an end. Exactly. And so I think the key thing in this is that if you're someone who is a Christian and you're in the business world, then understand this idea that you have to value people instead of the means to the end, whatever the end is. So if you value people, the byproduct is God will exalt you. You'll build a platform.
Right.
Instead of going after the platform, the end, right, and missing the means altogether. I think that's pretty powerful for folks to kind of consider. So you guys wrestle with that. If you want to learn more, you want to have more conversations like this, join us at uprint.life. We offer mentoring services. You guys can dive in. Like I said, you can subscribe to our weekly newsletter as well. It's youprint.life. Thanks so much for joining us today, and we'll see you guys next week.